Have you ever noticed this strange feeling? Someone listens to you, really listens. They don't interrupt. They don't judge. They don't say, others have it worse. They just look at you and say, yeah, I get you. And suddenly, boom, your chest feels lighter. Your mind feels calmer. You feel safe. Why does that feel so good? Why do humans crave being understood more than being right, more than being praised, sometimes even more than being loved? Today, we're going to talk about why humans love being understood. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll understand yourself a lot better too. Let's start with a simple truth. Humans are not just social creatures. We are meaning-making creatures. From the moment we're born, we're trying to answer one big question. Do you see me? As babies, we cry. Not because we're dramatic, but because it's our only way to say, hey, I exist. Something is happening to me. And when someone responds, feeds us, holds us, smiles at us, our brain learns something powerful. Being understood equals being safe. That lesson stays with us forever. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever explained a problem to someone, and halfway through, they said, oh, I know exactly what you mean. And you immediately said, yes, exactly. That's what I was trying to say. Even if it didn't fix your problem, even if nothing changed, you still felt better. Why? Because understanding doesn't just solve problems. It validates reality. It tells your brain, you're not crazy. Your feelings make sense. Your experience is real. And that's incredibly powerful. Here's a funny thing. Most people don't actually want advice. They say they do, but they don't. What they really want is for someone to sit in their emotional mess with them. Think about it. You tell someone, I'm really tired lately. And they reply, you should sleep earlier. Helpful? Yes. Comforting? Not really. But if they say, yeah, life has been exhausting lately. I feel that too. Suddenly, you feel connected. Same tiredness. Same struggle. Same planet. Psychologically, this happens because our brain has something called social pain circuits. Here's the wild part. Your brain processes emotional rejection almost the same way it processes physical pain. That's why being ignored hurts. That's why being misunderstood hurts. That's why being dismissed feels like a punch without the bruise. When someone understands you, your brain releases calming chemicals like oxytocin. In simple words, understanding literally soothes your nervous system. It's not just emotional, it's biological. Let's talk about misunderstanding for a second. Being misunderstood doesn't just feel bad. It feels lonely. You could be surrounded by people, friends, family, coworkers, and still feel completely alone. Why? Because loneliness isn't about the absence of people. It's about the absence of connection. And connection only happens when someone understands what's going on inside you. Here's a very real example. Imagine you're quiet at a party. One person thinks, oh, they're rude. Another thinks, they're boring. Another thinks, they think they're better than us. But the truth is, you're just tired, or anxious, or overwhelmed, or you just don't like loud music. When no one understands that, you don't just feel unseen. You feel misjudged. And misjudgment creates emotional distance. Now here's something interesting. Humans don't just want to be understood by others. We want to be understood accurately. If someone understands you wrong, it still hurts. If they say, I know how you feel, but you think, no, you really don't, your brain actually gets more frustrated. Because now it's not just loneliness, it's invalidation. That's why phrases like, at least, you're overthinking, it's not that deep, can feel so painful. They erase your inner experience. Let's bring in some light humor. Ever tried explaining your feelings to someone who turns it into a competition? You say, I had a bad day. They say, oh yeah, I had a worse day. Suddenly, it's the Olympics of suffering. Congratulations, you won gold, but no one feels understood. Another classic example. You're upset. Someone asks, why are you upset? You explain carefully. They reply, so basically, you're angry because you're sensitive. And you're like, no, I'm angry because you didn't understand anything I just said. Understanding requires listening, not labeling. Now here's the deeper psychological reason why being understood matters so much. Your identity is built through reflection. In simple words, you understand who you are partly by how others see and respond to you. When someone understands you correctly, it confirms your sense of self. It says, yes, this is who you are, and that makes sense. But when you're constantly misunderstood, your identity starts to feel shaky. You begin to question yourself. Am I too much? Am I weird? Am I wrong for feeling this way? And that's exhausting. This is why children desperately want parents to understand them. This is why teenagers feel dramatic when adults dismiss them. This is why adults still crave deep conversations at 2 a.m. Age changes. The need stays the same. Let's talk about love for a moment. Many people think love is about gifts, time, or attraction. But deep down, love is saying, I see you the way you see yourself. Maybe even better. That's why feeling understood by one person can feel more powerful than being liked by 100 people. One real connection beats many shallow ones. Every time that here's something you might not have noticed. We often say, no one understands me. But at the same time, we're afraid to explain ourselves honestly. Why? Because being understood requires being seen. And being seen means being vulnerable. It means saying, this is what I'm really feeling. This is what scares me. This is what hurts me. And that's risky. If someone understands you and accepts you, that's healing. If they understand you and reject you, that hurts deeply. So sometimes we hide. Now here's a powerful truth. The more misunderstood someone feels, the louder or quieter they become. Some people talk too much. Some people withdraw completely. Both are trying to solve the same problem. Please understand me. Social media plays a role here too. People post. People share. People overshare. Not always for attention. Sometimes it's just a digital way of saying, does anyone out there get me? A like feels nice. A comment feels better. But a comment that says, I relate to this so much, that hits different. Let's flip the perspective. Think about the last time you understood someone. Really understood them. Didn't judge. Didn't interrupt. Didn't try to fix. Just listened. Remember how it made you feel? Calm. Connected. Important. Understanding others also satisfies our own need for connection. It's a two-way bridge. This is why great friendships feel easy. Not because there are no problems, but because there's understanding during the problems. You can disagree. You can argue. You can be different. As long as you feel understood, the bond survives. Now here's something very important. Being understood doesn't mean being agreed with. Someone can say, I don't agree with your choice, but I understand why you made it. That alone can prevent conflict. Understanding reduces defensiveness. It tells the brain, I'm not under attack. And when the brain feels safe, it opens up. This is also why therapy works. Not because therapists magically solve your life, but because, for maybe the first time, someone listens without judgment. They reflect your thoughts back to you clearly. They help you understand yourself. And self-understanding is incredibly empowering. Let's talk about self-understanding for a moment. Sometimes we crave understanding from others because we don't fully understand ourselves yet. We feel something, but we can't explain it. So when someone puts it into words for us, we feel relief. It's like finally finding the right label on a messy box. Oh, that's what this feeling is. Here's a simple but powerful idea. The better you understand yourself, the less desperate you become for external validation. But the need never fully disappears. Because humans are wired for connection. Not independence at all costs, but interdependence. So what can we learn from all this? First, if you want deeper relationships, focus less on being impressive and more on being understandable. Second, if you want to make someone feel close to you, try understanding before advising. Third, if someone opens up to you, don't rush. Don't minimize. Don't compete. Just be there. And finally, remember this. Being understood is not a luxury. It's a psychological need. Just like food feeds the body, understanding feeds the soul. So the next time someone says, I understand you, pause for a second. Feel it. Because in that moment, you're not just heard. You're human.